in the dance community, we use our bodies so much, but we're still blocking our emotions.
Most of people don't need more technique. They need something that helps them to walk this knowledge.
Strategy of completely losing myself and entering the world of the leader.
You have the peace and you have the war. You choose where is that.
Whenever I felt like I was uncomfortable in the dance or there was something not okay, I would just not say anything, wait until the dance finishes, and then I would hold resentment against that person. Now, what I'm doing is...
Action! So here we are with Jesus and Andrea. Normally, I introduce to the guests myself, but I think you are going to do it better. So can you introduce yourself?
My name is Andrea Calab. I'm a coach specialized in conscious feeling and emotional healing. And I'm a dancer, I'm a social dancer, and I'm also an instructor. I've been teaching for about 7 years now, bachata, and mainly dance bachata and Brazilian zouk.
I'm Jesus. I don't like to say what I do. I do whatever I want. But I focus in dance. I dance Brazilian zouk and bachata. I'm instructor, teaching around the world with, and I now trying to mix coaching and dance in one. How to use and integrate the shadows through dance can change your life and make a different impact in your life.
And you had a workshop right now about boundaries and emotions. What I find really interesting, how the boundaries and emotion related in dancing, in a dance partner, right? Which are the boundaries that are more often crossed in a partner dance?
Wow. I would say, for me, at least the perspective that we're bringing is the perspective of what boundaries are we crossing for ourselves. And in social dance, what we cross most of the time is the boundary of our bodies. Like, what is it not okay to touch? Where is it not okay to touch? How close do I actually want to be compared to how close I actually am? It's this thing of not having the capacity to really listen to what my body wants and does not want. Because we are in this culture where it's very normal and it's very common to come into very close contact, like super fast. I invite you, boom, we're close position, and we don't even take time to really tune in to check, like, okay, is this okay for me? Is it working for me? By like this default vision that we need to be okay with whatever we were taught in classes. This is for me the main thing that we're crossing.
Mm-hmm. For me, I don't like to say that people is crossing boundaries. Is what is the permission that you give to everything around to go. Because it's necessary to connect with the responsibility of being in your center, being in the places that you can still with love or with a perspective that is a nutritive way. Because if you give the permission to everything around disturb you on still energy, I think it's when you give this permission. The example is with love. Like we have like this idea in movies and everything that love is like I sacrifice something for you and you sacrifice something. This is not love. This is a narrative that we as a society, and it's more related like, no, I love because I choose to give something that first I give to me. Because if I don't have a candy, I cannot give you a candy. With the rest of things, it's the same. You need to protect, you need to create, you need to feed, to aftergive. And this is the most necessary thing that we have. And dance is super nice to explore that.
This is like the mass in the plane, right? When the plane is gonna crash, it's always in the information sheet. It's like you need to get your mask, your oxygen mask, and later to your children, maybe. Because if you cannot breathe, you cannot give the mask to your children, for example. You have to be good in order to be good with the others, right? Good with yourself. Yeah, I find very interesting. About these boundaries, because sometimes we know the boundaries, but we don't know how to set them respectfully. Can you give us some tips? How can we set these boundaries with more respect with the other person?
Yes, for me, setting boundary is a skill that doesn't come like this. I'm not going to learn how to set boundaries by doing it one time. So if I'm here, let's say on the spectrum of this is like not setting a boundary and this is setting a boundary in the worst way possible, let's say. I need to practice and really give myself time to go and find what is the center. So my tip is, instead of focusing on how can I be respectful, for me is giving myself the space to learn this skill and also allowing myself to fuck up, to sometimes not doing it in the best way possible, but as a learning process. Because I'm not going to be able to find my center if I don't allow myself to do it in ways that are not the best way possible. I'm only human and I'm trying to do the best, but sometimes I will cross the boundaries and that's okay. That's all we do in every skill that we're learning. That for me is my tip.
Yeah, for me, my tip is, like Andrea said, is really related with anger. And anger is really related with something that we don't have, and it's action. You need to take action and practice that, because it's something that usually is the lack. We think a lot, we act not enough. Then what is the problem with that? Anger finishes being accumulative. Then after you express these boundaries or this anger from pain, projecting, like blaming. And if you are from this point, you're putting a boundary, but not being responsible of this boundary. I need to put that boundary, keeping or sustaining that boundary. Like, it's me, I need that, it's my priority, and for being okay, I need that. But I don't make you feel that you are blamed if you are not doing. Even if you are not doing, it's okay. I will take more responsibility and I say, I need to go. But it's necessary to practice to find this point to say, hey, I'm doing or setting boundaries from love and from compassion.
Also for me, it's what we saw in the workshop is, instead of expecting myself to be there and be the person that can set like perfect boundaries, go step by step. Like, for example, if someone offers me coffee, I can start by saying no to something that simple, but just to feel what is my relationship to no. And then I can move slowly to more difficult situation, like saying no to a dance or saying no to a specific kind of touch, saying no to an energy, saying no to a person, etc., etc.
It's super important to reassociate what means things to you. For example, how to say no, what means for you. If you feel uncomfortable, you will project that. It's not about the no. It's about how you feel with that. Then this is the key of life, is how you can come back and to reassociate what means things that you need to use.
You were as well speaking about emotions and thinkings, that the thing with the emotion is normally we cannot control what is coming here, what emotion, what a thinking is coming in our mind. While dancing, how can we interact better with these emotions that comes to our mind in order to be more calm and to enjoy better our dance?
You said some very interesting things and gestures. You said emotions that come to our mind. And I think this is a very classical way of viewing emotions for humans right now. Emotions happen here, in the heart, in the body. But the thing is, we associate stories to emotions. So as Jesus just said, usually the emotion is not the problem. The problem is the story that we have associated with the emotion. I have an emotion and I create a story with it, and then it creates like confusion or resistance. I'm stuck in my mind. So what we did in this workshop is to move from the mind to just feeling the emotion, with no need to have a story, no need to have an explanation, just allowing it to be, because it's part of us. And I think it's kind of ironic that in the dance community, we use our bodies so much, but we're still blocking our emotions. We're still very much in the head as soon as we start feeling something. So anger because my boundaries are not respected. Fear because it's scary to actually be connecting to a human. Fear to be rejected. All of these things. We start feeling them and then we block them. Yeah. And we go to the mind. So it's really a practice of, okay, I'm working with my body, and that means that I am also feeling things, and I need to let them circulate in my body.
It's really, I'm totally agree with that. It's like try to come back and to see what means, because sadness could be my mom or my father or someone important for me told me when I was a kid, I'm not enough, or you're doing always bad, or it was my first interaction with sadness there. Then all my life I'm keeping or fighting against this belief, and I don't reassociate. Then I'm living the same story all the time. This is why it's important to learn what is the difference between emotions and feelings, because one is in the past and one is in the now. If you don't know how to do that, after it's like you are blocked. In the moment that you accept what is happening, even if you are not capable to do it, you are in peace, you are integrated with you. And this brings, how you say, like feel more comfortable in a dance. Even if you are totally incapable to manage, but you tell the truth that I feel incapable to manage, you are in peace. Then you will create that. Then my advice is always talk with you from where what you want to add. It's not logical. It's more with faith. I want to do this from love. I will start from there. I will connect with me, and I will share that in a dance in the beginning. After it's necessary to put boundaries, because if not, you can share something from love, and the other person don't value that. Then you need to put a boundary, because if not, you will lose your energy. No judge, not necessary. I put because I need to be there. Then my advice is try to reconnect, try to see if you are running away of emotions or things that you have, and ask yourself what you want, what is important for you.
I speak about that in the ebook that I wrote, but I had to update because I have learned a lot in this festival. That's why. But what I wrote about that is like sometimes the problem is when we fight against this emotion thinking. What you said, you came something from maybe from your body, and you start to say the story.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is what a story it is, and why we don't accept what the feeling is. Sometimes it's a bad feeling, but it's so it's the life. It's not always happy feelings, happy life, right?
I want to add one thing. I love this. Yin and yang, the balance is always in everything. You choose where is that. I love a phrase that means you have the peace and you have the war. You choose where is that. If you want the war inside, like being nice, the peace will be outside. If you choose your peace, the war is outside, but it's not yours.
Yeah.
Probably it's people that is projecting, and it's okay. I don't need to judge. This is why we fight, but we don't fight in the right place. We need to fight outside, and we need to surrender to ourselves. We do the opposite. We fight with ourselves to be in peace with the rest. And it's a narrative, but doesn't work.
Why do you think is that?
Fear, like to be connected, because I think everything in nature is more deeper. We are created to be one thing, like nature, everything is connected. Then it's like the fastest way to think that we connect, like be a part of something. But the way that is the shortcut is the problem, because you want to do with something that is not you, is not related.
Yeah.
You want to control and manage. You want to be bigger of the things that already are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually a question that came in the workshop, a sharing that we had. A woman that shared that the most anger that she has is against herself. And for me, it's related to the fact that when we're born as human beings, we're not able to survive on our own. So we need other people to survive. So we come up with all of the survival strategies to make sure that they are going to keep taking care of us. That means that I need to not be too much, to not take too much space, to not be angry, to not be sad, to not take too much energy from the people around me. So I started building up all those survival strategies that I use to repress what is really happening in me. This is for me where the war starts within. It's not because I decided that I want to make war, or like, it's not random. There's a reason. I need to make myself small so I make sure that I'm going to be taken care of. The thing is, we don't go through processes that allow us to change those strategies, because there's no such thing in modern culture anymore. We keep the same thing. And this is why also we're opening those spaces. So we update our inner structure to where we are right now.
The fear to not to fit in the group, and because of this survival feeling maybe. How important is this communication with the other person of this feeling, and how can we improve our communication about these feelings?
I'm going to take a very specific example that I'm practicing a lot in my dances. Before I started all this work, whenever I felt like I was uncomfortable in the dance, or there was something not okay, or the leader was too rough, or the energy was too fast, I would just not say anything, wait until the dance finishes, and then I would hold resentment against that person. Like, I would very specifically remember that person and not dance with them ever again, and hold that unconscious anger in me. Now, what I'm doing is to communicate a small thing that I would like different in the dance. For example, can we go slower? Or can you not squeeze my hands? Or can you be a bit softer? And it's just this, like, giving the opportunity to the person to really meet me, to like be more authentic to this person, so we get an opportunity to create something that is aligned with both of us, instead of entering my story world that they're going to get angry and that they don't want to be softer, or that they know that they're hurting me but they don't care. I'm like walking away from my mind and tuning in my body. Okay, what do I need? Oh, I need to be slower. Can I communicate this? And magic happens literally, because turns out that what I'm feeling and what I want is not what the person is perceiving. So if I don't communicate, I cannot be with the person.
Yeah, at the same time, it's again the same comparison. I love it. If you don't have a candy, you cannot give a candy. If you don't communicate with you, you cannot communicate with other person. One guy came after the workshop and he told me how I can handle that if I have 7 no's in a row. And it's like, you need to communicate to you how you feel with that, and how you take this frustration or what you feel to create something good for you. You receive a no, do something a yes for you. I don't know, take a drink, go outside, dance by your own. Just try to take everything as a tool. And when you communicate, the question is like everything is a projection. If you don't finish like a responsible of you, you are not communicating, you are blaming. The biggest problem in life, I think the biggest virus that we have is blaming and judging, because this is a lot of weight.
Yeah.
In the way that you don't judge, you don't blame, and you just accept what is that, and that is really complicated. Sounds good, but it's really complicated. You need to integrate or to be in peace with shadows that are super, super painful.
Yeah.
But you need to keep and sustain that, because it's in the way that I communicate what I need, what I am, what I do, or in the direction that I'm going, not projecting you anything.
Yeah.
And also putting the boundaries that don't do the same. Because sometimes when you are kind, the other person take this space to project their things. And it's like, I'm projecting that.
About this communication, because I really find very interesting the channels, because there are kind of communication. You can talk with him, tell him whatever. There is a barrier maybe there, the language. How can you do it as well without talking?
Again, a very recent example. Friday night, I had a dance which started with the leader squeezing my hands, which for me is one of my boundaries. No squeezing my hands. And I kept removing my fingers. And usually leaders don't understand that. I need to express words. So I did this for about 10 seconds. And he was still doing it, so I pressed his hand, just a second. He didn't do it again in the dance. So that was, I think it was my first time that I really managed to communicate this in like 15 seconds. And he got it, and we had a really great dance after that. So my way of doing this is, especially in dance, I try with my body to communicate a boundary or a need or something that I would like. If it doesn't work, then I start using my words. And when you said like a communication barrier, I think that something that we need to accept is that sometimes it's not going to work. And sometimes there's no space for us to understand each other, and that's okay. We don't have to hate each other. We don't have to blame each other. We don't have to judge each other. It's maybe not the moment for us to be in connection, at least in that way. And it's okay.
Yeah, a point that also for me is important with that is you need to repeat what you want. It's not what you think, it's what you repeat. Then if you are all the time in your head, how you can communicate with the body? You cannot do it. This is why these spaces are super important, to explore what is happening in the body. Sometimes some people is like the first time that is listening to the body. What is the emotion, what is the feeling, what is happening? And it's a practice. Some people say it's complicated. Complicated depends how times you repeat. If you repeat that, you will be a master of that. If you repeat the shortcuts, you will be with other things. Yeah. In the way that you communicate with the body, sometimes even you don't need to talk, but it's a level of communication with your body in a high way. Yeah. And in that moment, there is a even more powerful and clear, because mind is not clear. It's like a liar, it's like a magician. But emotions are super clear, are super authentic. You cannot lie with emotions or feelings. You go with someone and you feel something, and it's just that energy, you know? You cannot lie with that. This is why you need to communicate, because probably you have triggers with you in that point. Yeah. In the moment that you is like, no, this is for me, it's okay with the rest. You will be communicating that, you know, even if it's something that people is not ready to receive.
You are coaches and dance teachers and as well, right? So you have a lot of experience with people, with your students. Which are the most three top struggles that a dance partner, so a dance couple, have in a social dance? Say one for the leader and one for the follower, and how can we solve these issues?
The first thing that comes for me is that solving issues for me is not what gives us most power individually and as a community. Because for me, it's not about solving something, it's more about truly being with what is. So we kind of, instead of wanting to go out of it, we go through it and move through it and go to the next space, which is a very different approach. It's just something that we brought a lot in those spaces in this festival, of taking responsibility for what is going on inside of us, instead of looking for solutions for myself or other people. For the struggles, for me as a follower, the biggest struggle right now is what I call the passive follower. Yeah. It's the strategy of completely, because we're looking to be like the best follower and like a very good follower that very exactly follows what the leader is leading. And that for me involves like completely losing myself and entering the world of the leader, which is a great skill to have if it's used consciously. Right now, my sense is that we're using it to have the validation that we're good followers. At least it was my case for a lot of years. And it's losing, like I'm losing my essence and really who I am in this moment, so I can co-create with the person in front of me and not completely enter their world. So it has to do with self-expression, taking more space, and also opening up the possibility, like it's happening a lot with role rotation and all of that, that the roles of leaders and followers are not as closed as we see them in the dance classes. Maybe I'll let you go for the leaders.
I think it's something deeper. I think we will need like 2 or 3 hours for that. I will say more for dancers in general, because leader and follower are energies behind, masculine and feminine energy behind, means being with the responsibility of the power of being like the masculinity of femininity, because many times we don't use that in a right way. You know, it's one of the things that, because being a leader is not about dominance, it's about represent something, choose to be there with that energy. And follow is not overthinking or to guessing, it's just acceptance, it's just listen that with not necessary to be like in a submission, you know?
Yeah.
And that is really deep. But I will say, as a dancer, I will say come to your center one and again and again and again and again. Don't give the permission to things outside to take you and bring in a place that you are incapable to do something. I think this is why I create that, because I feel in my classes around the world teaching, like most of people don't need more technique. They need something that helps them to walk this knowledge. This in dance is the same in life. This is why I don't like to explain what I do or what I'm not, because this is something that is related with the language, but I limit myself. You know, it's in the way that I don't need to close the abundance of life, you know, and that is so beautiful, but it's a commitment, you know, because when you dance and you choose to share all this abundance, you need to believe in will happen something that you will embrace. And sometimes it's not positive, you know. Then have these things represented, not because many times in festivals it's like, no, the coaching or these kind of things are important. Yeah, but it's narrative. You need to put in the main thing. Like you need to represent that is important, you know, because if you say that is important and after your ads are not with that, the energy will not be like the same, you know. And as a dancer, the same. Most of people say, I have that. It's not integrate. You need to integrate what you do, what is important for you, and this is why you need these kind of things to disblock the body. Because when I dance, I use a lot of foundation of different styles and coaching at the same time to disblock the body. Because if I don't disblock what is happening in you, I can share thousands of hours of knowledge and you will be worse because you will block more yourself. I will say that, like, walk more knowledge. Don't try to be anxious with more knowledge. Walk this knowledge.
Wow. Jesus and Andrea, you can send the interview to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So you can choose maybe a dance couple or whoever, doesn't matter. And I will try to do the interview with them, or with he, or with she.
Mm-hmm. Julinia will be great. I don't know a lot here, but I like these kind of things that you don't know, but you feel that is something good. I
Okay.
will say.
I do not know them personally, but I think they live in Germany. It's Dominique and Monica.
Okay.
And Monica is also into coaching.
Dominica.
Dominic and Monica.
Dominic and Monica, I think. I think it's Dominic and Monica.
Dominic and Monique.
I think so.
Dominic and Monica.
I think so.
Dominic and Monica and how was?
Julinia.
And Jonina. Joder.
Julinia. Julinia.
Julinia. And Jolina, you and
Julinia. Nya. Luniña.
Julinia. Okay.
Yes.
And Julinia, you are invited, officially invited for my interviews with Jesus and Andrea. Thank you very much for the interview. Thank you as well for the workshop. It was amazing. It was very intense as well. Wow. It was amazing, really.
Thank you.
And we see us later in the social dance, in the pool party. Have fun.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Ciao.
See you guys.